Hello, everybody. This is Just, and welcome again on another episode of the Just in Manila podcast. Tonight, we're going to talk about the program that I feel strongly for. I think if you're following me on Twitter, I have been writing about this since early on, like pagkalabas pa lang of the EO, actually even just the talk of it. Right now we have updates regarding this program. Well, before that, um our recent news, yung mga nababasa natin online would tell us that the 2024 general appropriations of the Marcos administration is pro-poor. Why? Because according to Speaker Martin Romualdez, at least 500 billion pesos is allocated for social aid targeting 12 million families. When we talk about social aids, we have in mind 4Ps, AIX, TUPAD, this new program, AKAP, so on and so forth. But what I really want to highlight tonight is the Walang Gutom 2027 or the Marcos administration food stamp program. I think there's no better person to enlighten us with this, but this person who is famous to us in social media. I mean, amongst all the government employees, parang isa siya sa medyo active talaga, especially in Twitter. I have with me, and I'm super privileged to have our guest of the show, the Undersecretary for Innovation. Please welcome DSWD Undersecretary Mr. Edu Punay. Hello, sir. How are you? Kumusta? Mukhang busy-busy ka
Hello.
talaga.
Yes.
Yes. Sir, if you
Yes,
want to
Ma'am
say...
Justine. Good
Yeah.
evening sa'yo.
Yes, sir. Baka you want to say hi to all of our live listeners tonight.
Yes, good evening to you, Ma'am Justine, and to all your listeners and followers sa iyong Justin Manila podcast. And it's good to be back again in your
Yes.
program to explain the programs of the SWD.
Yes. So, medyo talaga paborito ko talaga tong paborito ko talaga tong Walang Gutom 2027 or food stamp program because I know how intense malnutrition is here in the Philippines. Um, actually, I invited Yusek because I saw his recent tweet or good news saying na parang, oh, meron na tayong update. Yung pilot testing ng Walang Gutom was a success. Pero for those who missed your explanation then before, can you give us an explanation of what Walang Gutom 2027 is?
Yes, no, Ma'am Justine. Again, this Walang Gutom 2027 food stamp program, as you said, is a flagship program of the administration of President Bongbong Marcos, and it aims to address involuntary hunger and malnutrition in the country, which, as you said, medyo talaga close to our hearts kasi medyo alarming levels talaga, no? Especially coming from the pandemic. The PSA identified 1 million households. So that's times 5 or times 6. Kasi per household may times 5 times 6 tayo. So about 5 or 6 million Filipino families ang nakaka-encounter ng involuntary hunger. That means natutulog sila na talagang walang laman yung tiyan. Kumakain isang beses or dalawang beses lang isang araw. Kulang talaga yung kanilang food intake. At ito yung meron nga tayong 1 million, no, sabi ng Philippine Statistics Authority na natag as food poor. And if we put it in numbers, no, ito yung mga families na hindi kumikita, hindi nakakamit ng 8,300 peso na threshold for the minimum monthly food requirement for a family of 5 members. So kailangan 8,300 pala ang required na income meron tayo, food income para makakain ng sapat yung pamilya natin, at meron tayong 1 million na Filipino families sa ating bansa na hindi nakaka-meet nung threshold na yon, ano. And that's why we came up with this Walang Gutom program where we are giving our beneficiaries food credits, no? Food credits worth 3,000 per month where they can buy food na based on the Pinggang Pinoy or yung food basket set by our FNRI or Food and Nutrition Research Institute na talagang healthy lang, 50,000, 50% carbohydrates, 30% protein, at 20% na healthy and dietary fats, no? So bawal ang junk food, bawal ang liquor, no? Talagang healthy food lang. Yes, ang mabibili dito at specific. We are also tapping the kadiwa ng Pangulo para mga fresh food kasi, no, ang mabibili dito hindi pwedeng nga yung mga junk food or mga processed foods, even the canned goods hindi natin pinapayagan dito, ayaw ni ating mga FNRI at National Nutrition Council kasi hindi nga healthy yun, no? Talagang mga healthy food lang yung ating binibigay sa ating mga kababayan para to address also yung malnutrition natin, at there's a need to elevate yung nutrition level ng ating mga kababayan in line with the first 1,000 days program naman ng gobyerno na talaga nagpo-promote ng nutrition para ma-address yung malnutrition and also yung alarming level ng stunting natin. Sinabi na ng DOH yan, Ma'am Jess, na talagang almost 30% ng mga batang Pinoy ay stunted. No? So talagang ganong level na yung kailangan natin i-address. No? But we are not, this program is bilin talaga ni President BBM nung dinadraft namin yung design ng programa. It has to be holistic. It has to be a whole of government, a whole of nation approach. No? So meron tayong mga partner agencies na tinap dito sa implementation nito. DOH, andyan si DOLE, si TESDA. Matatanong nyo bakit may DOLE and TESDA? Kasi holistic.
Yes, actually.
Hindi lang natin kailangan pakainin yung mga kababayan natin may hirap. Ang direction po ng gobyerno ngayon, we are teaching our poor countrymen to stand on their own. Hindi na para hindi sila aasa sa ayuda ng gobyerno. Kailangan tuturuan natin sila na tumayo sa sariling paa nila. Kaya tinuturuan natin sila sa TESDA, Ma'am Jess, no? In-enroll natin sila sa job skills training at ina-assist sila ng DOLE sa job hunting, no?
Bale, Yusek, kapag naka-enroll sila sa food stamp program, kailangan a-attend sila ng mga TESDA training, ganon, o kaya parang magka-try talaga silang kumuha ng trabaho, ganon po ba?
Yes, kasi lahat ng beneficiaries na naka-enroll sa atin, pinapasok din ni TESDA sa kanilang programs, no? So ina-accommodate sa program ni TESDA pati sa DOLE, and talagang usapan natin to nung first meeting natin sa PNS or sa Malacanang while planning the design of the program. Talagang ang agreement was itong mga beneficiaries na ito is considered as poorest of the poor. Talagang mas mababang level pa to talaga sa mga 40s natin kasi ito yung mga walang nakakain talaga. So sila yung pinaka-deserving ng government programs, no, na intervention mula sa government para ma-elevate natin yung kanilang mga status sa buhay. At ayun nga, kaya katulong natin din dito ang DOH para naman sa nutrition education at para sa i-target yung mga pregnant and lactating women na kabilin-bilin na Pangulong BBM na isama natin sa programa para doon nga sa nutrition aspect nito, no? So kasama dito Ma'am Jess. Yes. Ang ating mga buntis at mga bagong panganak.
Pero Yusek, paano nila na-receive yung aid? Pera ba to? O paano natin makokontrol na yun lang yung mabibili nila na nutrition parang nutritious food lang yung mabibili nila? Paano natin yun ma-ensure?
Yes, isa sa features nito nga, Ma'am Jess, is yung digital aspect nga nito. No? So we're using electronic benefit transfer cards, the technology given to lent to us by the World Food Program, which is our partner in implementing the pilot of the program. So merong EBT card yan na parang tap card na ginagamit natin sa MRT or yung sa mga stores natin na readable by QR or tap by tap siya, yung may point of sales, no? hindi siya yung ATM na nawi-withdraw parang sa 4-piece natin. So this is our innovation para to make sure na yung grant natin ay walang leakage at talagang mapupunta lang doon sa intended purpose niya. No, so ang mabibili lang nila doon, as I mentioned a while ago, targeted to 50% carbohydrates, talagang bigas lang, kamote,
Gulay lang.
patatas, ito mga health, gulay, yes. Tapos meron tayo yung protein, talagang 30% na protein, so karne lang ng baboy, baka, or fish ang mabibili nila. Hindi talaga pwedeng lumabas doon sa prescribed natin na food basket
Nutrition
ng FNRI.
program.
Yes, talagang nutrition targeted siya.
Yes. Para ito talaga yung solusyon talaga para lang sa malnutrition. Ito yung ina-address natin through this. Wow.
Yes.
Yusek, alam mo naman for sure, 'di ba? Paglabas pa lang nung EO44, 'di ba yung EO44 ng Malacanang is walang gutom 2027. Marami na tayong mga naririnig from the critics, sinasabi na, temporary solution lang yan. Ayuda na naman. Dole out na naman. Can you tell us, is it really necessary for us to have another program for this? And also, sabi medyo napahapyawan niyo na kanina, Yusek, how is this different from the 4Ps, from the IX? Alam mo yun, parang siguro kasi sa perspective din kasi ng mga kritiko o kaya ng mga taxpayers, diba? Parang baka it's another dole out, ganun. Baka you can enlighten us kung ano yung necessity of this and how is this different from the other programs?
Yes, thank you for this chance, Ma'am Justin. Actually, when we were starting to craft the design of the program or even the guidelines or the concept note pa lang, may ganyan talagang fear, no, na parang it's gonna be another dole out or unnecessary siya kasi may 4-piece naman tayo. So we really took time to discuss with our experts, no, kasama dyan yung NEDA, nag-consult talaga tayo kala SecRC kung talaga bang justifiable ba itong program natin to come up with a new program to address food insecurity as it is and malnutrition. And nag-agree naman si Secretary RC and even the other cabinet secretaries when we presented it to the president in a cabinet meeting that the existing programs, there is nothing in the existing programs of the SWD that specifically address involuntary hunger. No, talagang wala pang programa. That's why ganun kalaki yung data natin, yung figure natin ng food poverty, na meron tayong 1 million na food poor na families. Kasi itong 4-piece, for instance, Ma'am Justin, ang design ng 4-piece kasi is to break the intergenerational cycle of poverty by investing in the education and health of children. No, talagang requirement kay 4-piece, may nag-aaral ka, at ang purpose nung binibigay na grant per month ni 4-piece is intended for the education. Tutulong doon sa edukasyon ng bata, is an investment to education para makakapasok sila at masigla sila nakakabili ng tamang ng mga requirements sa school para matapos nila yung pag-aaral nila. Kaya requirement sa 4-piece na may nag-aaral para pagka-graduate nila ng high school, yes, graduate na sila sa 4-piece din. So yun yung target nun. It does not address the food poverty. That's why dito sa data natin, Ma'am Justin, nakita rin natin na dito sa 1 million food poor families, in fact, merong 400,000 na 4-piece beneficiary. So nakita natin, even the 4-piece, 4-piece beneficiary natin, hindi sapat yung kinakain. Diba? Kasi yung grant nga na binibigay sa kanila ng gobyerno na 3,500 maximum per month ay nakalaan para sa edukasyon ng mga bata, yan, pamasahe, pambili ng projects sa school, at pagkain na rin, pag lumalabas, baon nila sa school, pero yung baon, yung pagkain ng pamilya sa bahay,
kulang talaga.
Kaya nakita natin yung pangangailangan nitong ating food stamp program. At isang factor din na sinasabi sa atin ni PSA at ni DBM, pati na rin ni NEDA, is yung impact ng pandemic, Ma'am Justin. Talagang marami tayong beneficiaries
ramdam pa din pala.
Yes, gagraduate na sana sa poverty eh. Kaya lang after 2 years ng pandemic, medyo nag-slide down, no? Talagang bumagsak sila because of lack of opportunities at marami nga tayong experience or kilala nga no, personally na medyo may kaya pa nga, no? Mga middle income, biglang naging mahirap after ng poverty, bumaba sila sa poverty. After ng pandemic, no, bumaba sila sa poverty line. So isa yun sa mga impact na nakita natin. That's why we need to address food insecurity, no. Now as to the question naman on how is this different, no, as you said,
Yes.
other programs. So yun nga, first and foremost, yung 4Ps, iba yung objective nun. And itong FSP, yung food stamp natin, Ma'am Justine, it's designed talaga to prevent yung leakages, no, leakages ng ating mga grants, no, katulad sa 4Ps na withdraw kasi ang 4Ps, ano, kaya sinasabi nila ginagamit sa gambling, ginagamit sa kung ano-anong mga hindi intended purpose ng program. So medyo walang control nga doon. Dito yung ina-address natin dito sa food stamp, kaya specific tayo, very strict tayo, hindi nyo ma-withdraw yung pera dito, diretso mabibili ng pagkain kasi siya, food credit siya, hindi siya convertible to cash. Now, with regard naman dun sa special amelioration program naman, during the pandemic, as you can recall, may 8,000 cash na pinamigay doon. And in that case, no, merong very crucial yung naging role ng ating mga local government officials at mga barangays, no. Yung targeting kasi doon, yung mga nabigyan ng grants, yung mga nasa listahan ni barangay captain, so reklamo ng karamihan doon, di ba?
Yes, yes.
Kakilala lang ni barangay, hindi na cover talaga yung mga mahihirap. Ngayon dito sa implementation ng FSP, we made sure no talagang double, triple checking tayo ng data ng ating beneficiaries, ng ating listahan, no. So we cross-check our listahan ng our existing database of poor Filipinos with the data of Philippine Statistics Authority. No, nag-cross match namin 'yan para makita natin yung pinaka-deserving talaga, no, na yung mga food poor, yung talagang kumikita ng less than 8,300.
I actually use it. That's one thing na na-pick up ko during the committee hearings from Congress and Senate on how you parang dinouble check ninyo, parang cross-match ninyo yung listahan ninyo with the PSA, which is actually quite comforting at kailangan natin i-highlight on this podcast kasi inaayos na po. Mahirap kasi din USEC, di ba? Parang yung mga DSWD programs, medyo, lalo na in the past, medyo napahapyawan nyo na kanina na parang, ano naman yun yung mga, sa LGU lang yan, yung mga LGU, yung mga BFF ni barangay captain, ganyan, etc., etc. At least now, you actually mentioned na inaayos yung listahanan natin. Nasa 3 na pala tayo, listahanan 3 na. Yes. Gusto ko lang pong i-highlight yun.
And to add, no, Ma'am Justine, on that aspect ng targeting, kasi very crucial yung targeting sa mga programs. We have to make sure na yung beneficiaries natin, yung most deserving, given the limited resources of our government. No? Kailangan walang leakage, yung mga deserving lang. And so, isang benefit siguro that I can share, no, yung having an OC, obsessive compulsive na secretary, nahahawa na rin kami. Yeah. So kami OC na rin kami, no, yung team namin, si Sec Rex, alam niya na OC yan. Kami OC na rin, so hindi sapat yung na-cross-check namin, yung yung data na yan sa PSA. Gumawa pa kami ng sarili naming assessment tool, no?
Wow.
To verify and validate. Nagba-validate kami sa community, house to house namin yan, and then ini-interview namin each beneficiary to make sure that they are food poor talaga. No? So meron kaming ginawa na walang gutom indicator, no? Parang orwagi. Ito yung aming assessment tool na ginagawa sa aming beneficiaries. So kapag nasa listahanan sila, nagko-community validation kami, pinapapunta namin sila sa mga basketball court to gather them, and then we interview them one by one. We also check their house. Talagang verify and see for ourselves, no, for with our own eyes, no, and record it sa aming documentation na sila ay mga mahihirap talaga. Talagang meron kaming database or
Yes. Okay, so you were saying USEC na parang you're validating, pinapupunta mo sila sa basketball court para i-confirm kung talaga bang baka naman mas malaki pa yung bahay kaysa sa atin, 'di ba?
Yes, oo, tama 'yun.
Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, nag-develop tayo sa DSWD ng sarili nating validation tool or para to determine yung talagang status ng ating mga beneficiaries. Ano? So we interview them one by one. Meron tayong assessment test, no? Very tedious yan to determine talaga yung kanilang status or level ng kanilang income. And sa community validation, our social workers go to these communities to validate their houses. No, pumunta sa mga bahay yan, isa-isa. Tinitignan kung talagang baka maganda sa mga gated subdivision pala nakatira. Siyempre, hindi mako-qualify yan. So, karamihan naman, thankfully, sa ating initial pilot implementation, lahat naman talagang confirmed, no? Talaga nakatira sa mga shanties, sa mga squatters area. So, talagang deserving naman ng ating program.
But that's comforting to hear, Yusek, especially kasi parang sa dami ng mga critics of this program, at least they get to hear through this podcast na sobrang dami naman palang validation na nangyayari. And of course, you really want na parang kung sino yung pinaka-deserving to get it. One thing that I gusto ko lang din supplement what you said about Secretary Gatchalian, kasi pinanood ko siya sa budget hearing, both Congress and Senate. He knows the paper kung ano yung hihingin niya. Pakuha nga nito. Alam niya just to answer the questions. And he knows all the answers to the questions. Kaya parang, okay, that's comforting to hear. And kasi parang napaka-scientific niya when it comes to, to addressing this. So, medyo comfortable, medyo parang it's comforting to hear all of this from you. So, anything po from the pilot testing that you want to share with us before we move to our next question? Baka congratulations po pala for its success. Ready na ba tayo para for the full implementation?
Actually, clarify lang natin, Ma'am Justine, yung pilot kasi it takes about, ang design ng pilot phase natin ay matagal din yan. It will take about 11 months to a year din talaga to implement. Meron kaming initial phase that we conducted from July last year, yung sa Tondo and Dapa sa Siargao. 100 initial household beneficiaries pa lang yun, because that's at that time wala pa yung grant. We're operating on a grant, from the ADB. So yung grant kasi ni ADB came out December na, so medyo late na. So itong bigger phase ng ating pilot implementation, which involves 3,000 beneficiaries na, ito nagsimula ng tumakbo dyan nitong December.
Wow.
So sa Tondo may 1,500 beneficiary na tayo dyan, running na to until May, and then we'll do the assessment by June, and then we're ready for the scale-up national implementation na by July. That will have 300,000 na. 300,000 agad na beneficiaries, nationwide.
300,000, wow.
1,000 beneficiaries, ganun na. At ito nga, as you said, this is a priority program of the President, flagship siya. Kaya in this project, very special sa amin to sa DSWD because through the food stamp program, isa ito sa mga successful kami to come up to win a tier 2 item sa budget sa GAA. Kasi bihira yun, as you know, once in a blue moon yan na walang bahay, biglang isisingit doon na justify namin sa DBCC. So nabigyan naman tayo ng 1.9 billion na budget for this year, pero although kulang pa yun, kasi ang requirement talaga natin 6 billion, but for the scale up involving 300,000 beneficiaries. But thankfully, si Secnina naman ay nag-commit na talagang tutulungan tayo because this is a flagship program. So she committed to provide funding naman yung mga kulang sa ating pondo for the scale-up implementation.
Of 300,000. 300,000. Yes, agad. Wow. Well, I'm super excited for the full implementation of this. So I just have few questions, Yusek, Edu, about other things aside from the Walang Gutom 2027. I think they can okay. The president and the Congress are both supportive of the DSWD programs. I think it's 500 billion pesos allocated for social aid targeting 12 million families. That's yun yung nababasa namin and stuff. Pero in social media, parang they make it sound as if it's a bad thing. Na parang, ano naman, I often actually have comments on Twitter saying, ano naman masasabi mo sa 500 billion ayuda? So, can you tell us why is it important or why is social amelioration, ayuda programs important, and why is the Marcos administration and the 19th Congress actually giving much funding there? Why is it parang being someone from DSWD, maybe you can put a light on this?
Yes, oo. Tama yun, Ma'am Justine. Siguro we go to the basics and remember yung mga vision and aspiration ng ating Pangulo, no, na talagang when he came into office, even during the campaign, malinaw yan, tanda ko, I was covering him. Ang pangako niya, isang araw, ang kanyang vision ay sa isang bagong Pilipinas, wala nang Pilipino na magugutom, mawawala na rin na may hirap na Pilipino. No? So talagang very important sa ating Pangulo ang pag-address sa poverty, sa hunger, sa malnutrition. Priority yan ng ating Pangulo at ng ating Kongreso, siyempre. Kaya ganun na lang yung investment, no, dito sa ating mga programa sa on poverty, on malnutrition, on hunger, kasi very crucial ito for economic development. Alam naman natin yan, na talagang we are on our way talaga towards a middle income, upper middle income country, di ba? Even when before the pandemic hit us in 2020. So ayun yung vision, goal talaga natin, and we have to be on track with that. And isang important aspect nun maybe is yun nga, wala kang mga mababa yung poverty level mo, no? So you have to address yung poverty sa grassroots, no? And siguro yung apprehension lang na ating mga kababayan is with regard to the implementation ng program. Siguro because of the experiences nga in the past na marami tayong mga nakita mga loopholes in the implementation of the programs. But ang ating assurance lang sa ating mga kababayan na talagang dito sa DSWD po, sa talagang ginagabayan kami ng Pangulo, hands-on yan. Dito sa food stamp pa lang, 3-4 na beses yan namin kinausap. Talagang ang dami niyang input sa program. Talagang hands-on ng ating Pangulo. At very lucky kami na we have a very proactive and innovative secretary. Talagang alam niyo naman yung ginawa ni Secretary Rex sa Valenzuela, no? Yung paano nila napalago yung Valenzuela into a very robust city that it is now. So, nandyan yung kompleto tayo, kumbaga kompleto Ricardos tayo para mag-implement ng magagandang programa. At talagang si Secrex, ang bilin niya lagi, number one, data-driven kami, data is king. No? Kailangan lahat ng galaw namin based sa data, hindi pwedeng bara-bara, bawal sa kanya yung mga bara-bara na yan. At very important din yung digitalization, priority talaga ng gobyerno, ni Pangulong Bongbong ang digitalization. At ganun din kami sa DSWD, lahat ng programa namin digital, katulad nitong food stamp program, because naniniwala tayo na yung digitalization
nakakabawas.
Less intervention, no? Less human intervention. So wala talagang mababawasan yung room for corruption. So ito yung mga important components natin to ensure na ang ating mga social services at mga amelioration programs ay talagang mapupunta sa mga deserving. Yes, sa tamang tao. So talagang yun yung target talaga natin, less or zero na mga leakages sa ating mga grants. So yun ang ating direction.
Yusek, I like what you said na baka ang problema lang naman talaga nila, ang problema ng mga kritiko ay yung mga nangyari from before. And I think it is assuring us na mapupunta sa tamang tao would lift yung mga doubts regarding the ayudas the government is giving. So, just before we end the podcast, Yusek, sa dami ng DSWD program. I know that you have a reading and a tutoring thing, pero if you can flex, if you can highlight three that you've been passionate about so we can research about it more later on, baka pwede kang mag-flex ng tatlong DSWD program na sabihin na natin yung paborito mo. Sige po.
Yes. So, ang aking portfolio kasi, Ma'am Justine, innovations. No? So, I handle yung mga flagship programs at yung mga bagong programs na dinidevelop talaga, no? Social technology ng DSWD. So, kasama dyan itong tatlong flagship programs ni Secretary Rex. Number 1 na nga itong food stamp program. At meron din yung number 2 natin, yung Tarabasa. No? Tarabasa tutoring program na isang cash for work sa ating mga college student, indigent college students na ang binibigyan natin ng cash for work or assistance, financial assistance in exchange for tutoring yung mga grade 2 na non-readers sa public schools. No?
Parang part-time job.
Yes, so parang OJT na rin nila to kasi mga education major, yung kinuha natin. No? This is in partnership with the Department of Education. And tapos na rin yung pilot implementation na yan. Meron tayong
ano pangalan ulit, Yusek?
Tarabasa tutoring program. Yes. So we use the cash for work to help address yung illiteracy sa ating mga public schools. So this is a collaboration with the Department of Education. So successful yung ating pilot implementation din sa NCR muna tayong tumutok the past 7 months. And we served more than 80,000 na mga college students at mga grade 2 na mga pupils na mga na assess na mga non-readers, no? All over NCR yan, lahat ng 17 cities and municipality ay nag-participate. At hindi lang din, pati mga parents, binigyan natin ng cash for work nitong mga batang hindi marunong magbasa. Tinap natin yung mga parents, tinrain natin sila through cash for work na maging tinuruan natin sila paano turuan din, no, sa bahay yung kanilang mga anak kung paano magbasa kasi tayo na nawala na mga magulang nga talagang unang teacher
guro.
Yes. So sa bahay tinrain natin na magturo din sila ng mga anak nila.
Ang maganda i-highlight dito ay indigent college students. Parang
sa
part-time job.
Local universities and colleges, yung mga public universities and colleges din dito sa NCR, yun yung ating mga tinap na mga education majors. Ito yung mga sinasabi natin na mga batang mga scholar, no, sa school kasi libre naman yung education natin sa LUCs, pero mga kailangan ng pera pambili ng libro, ng mga gamit
requirements,
sa school. So yes, kung natatandaan nyo, Ma'am Justine, yung educational assistance nga natin, dinumog tayo dito noong nakaraang taon. The previous, noong 2022, the first year that we were here, parang zombie apocalypse, no? Dinumog tayo ng the educational assistance. So, we reformatted it into a cash for work program para, yun nga yung direction natin talaga dito We want our beneficiaries to contribute to nation building, no? We do not want another dole out, no? We don't want our beneficiaries to umaasa na lang sa gobyerno lagi, no? Gumihingi na tayo ngayon ng kapalit, no? Na tutulungan kayo ng gobyerno pero tumulong kayo sa bansa natin. Kailangan maging productive citizens tayong lahat. Yun yung ating direction dito sa DSWD.
Yes. Ang maganda nga dyan, Yusek, mga education students. So parang nag-training na din sila to become a good teacher.
Yes.
Ano yung pangatlo, Yusek? So we have food stamp program, we have Tarabasa, and what's the last one?
Yes. The last one is the third, the Oplan Pag-abot. Oplan Pag-abot is another flagship program. This is our program to reach out to families and individuals in street situations. Yung mga nakita nating namamalimos sa kalsada natin, yung mga kababayan nating mga walang bahay, nakatira sa kalye at namamalimos, yung mga kababayan nating IP, nasa IP communities na namamalimos tuwing Vermonths, alam natin yan, marami yan sa kalye ng NCR. So ito yung ating tinutukan the past 7 months, no. So sila ay ating ni-reach out, binigyan natin sila ng mga ID, no, ng ID na register natin sila sa Philippine Statistics Authority, nabigyan sila ng national ID, ng mga late registration ng mga birth certificate para sila yung maka-access sa government services, no, kasi alam natin like kami sa AIX, no, kailangan na ID diyan bago ka mabigyan ng assistance. So ito mga to, yung mga nakatira sa kalye, mga walang ID.
Hindi nila
para malapit natin sila.
Yes. Hindi nila na-access yung government help because of those hurdles. Yes. Ang ganda nun, Yusek. Yes.
And another component nun is yun nga, nabibigyan na natin sila ng assistance through AIX and even our Balik Probinsya program, yung sa mga kailangan umuwi sa probinsya para
pero hindi makauwi.
Na lang bumalik sa pamilya nila, at mabibigyan sila ng panimulado na kanilang livelihood assistance. Nandiyan din yung Sustainable Livelihood Program natin. So this is another holistic approach, ano, and whole of government din ito kasi kapartner natin ang iba't ibang local government units dito sa NCR. We signed a memorandum of agreement with MMDA, and actually ka-board kasama na kapartner natin dito ang Commission on Human Rights kasi rights-based yung naging approach natin, ano. Unlike yung mga previous practices kasi, Ma'am Justine, ano, kinatatakutan ng ating mga kababayang namamalimos sa kalye kapag pupuntahan sila ng pulis kasi hinuhuli sila, meron silang trauma, no. So ang ginawa nating innovation dito, we made it this time a rights-based approach. So walang pilitan. Ang motto namin, pwedeng kulitin pero bawal pilitin. So talagang ang ating mga social workers, binabalik-balikan yan kahit na 5 beses silang balikan sa colleges to convince them to come with us in our centers, to come with us so they'll be able to go home to their provinces at bibigyan natin ng karampatang assistance, no. Yun yung difference this time ng ating reach out operations kasi previously talagang medyo merong undeniably merong natatakot ng mga FISS kasi nga nasasaktan sila minsan sa operation na ating mga police, napapilitan sila against their will, na kailangan sumama sila. And this is not a temporary fix, ano, tulad din nung nangyayari kapag may bisita tayo ng mga kunwari si Pope nang dumating dito, tinago ang mga pulubi at mga taong kalye pero bumalik din after 2 weeks, nilabas din. Ngayon, sustainability ang habol natin dito, Ma'am Justine. Ang target natin, ina-assess ng ating social workers, isa-isa yan per individual kung ano yung appropriate na intervention na kailangan nila para hindi na sila babalik sa kalye. Yun ang ating target.
Yes. Thank you so much for that. Pero dami pala. Tulad niyan, 3 pa lang. How much more if we have more time to actually discuss all of the programs. Yusek, thank you very much for enlightening us up with Walang Gutom 2027 because we believe as supporters of the president kasi alam mo yun, parang we understand na parang yung puso niya talaga nandito. He wanted to address malnutrition kasi nabasa naman namin yun. Pero with you here, we understand more na dami palang safeguards, diba? Dami palang safeguards ng program. And also, at least at ease the critics of this administration that the current DSWD is working on the things or the leakages para at least lang hindi natin mapolitika ang ayuda, hindi natin mapolitika itong mga programa. Again, maraming salamat. This has been Justin and of course the DSWD Undersecretary for Innovation, Mr. Edu Punay. Thank you very much po. Thank you po.
Thank you, Justin, at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Salamat, sir. Thank you po.